Okay, so first things first. Uh, been off of the hive mind for a long time. And 20 something years ago, um, was at a comic book convention back when it wasn't cool to go to them, and won a raffle. And when I won the raffle, uh, it was for a VHS copy of a horror movie called Killing Spree, and it belonged to Joel Wynkoop. And Joel went to Joel Wynkoop's table to get it, and he had it all planned and it was recording when I won the raffle. And that winning of that raffle ended up being used in a movie years later. He put that into a movie called Fall of an Actor and The Fall of an Actor. One is a documentary and one is a movie, a theatrical movie. And he did it all. It's all the same footage, but it's rearranged. One's a documentary and one's a theatrical movie. Anyway, so when I won that movie, Joel was definitely like, if you've ever seen Tim Burton's Ed Wood, kind of a very, very enthusiastic film person, still is. And so I ended up over the years being in a few of his movies, but I was never totally committed to it. I would come and go, kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I'd skip off and do some other things, and come back and do another movie with him. Anyway, through Joel, I met Mark Nash. Mark Nash was an aspiring filmmaker and director and actor, mostly actor, I think. And we started working on Mark Nash and I started working on a horror movie. And here's the movie. This is, like I said, over 20 years old now. And since I've been back on the hive mind, Mark said, hey, I got a copy of the movie for you. And I've seen I saw it in the theater. When I went to film, it went to film festivals. I went to a local one and watched it on a full screen. And then I saw another smaller venue at a hotel where they showed it on a big screen, but not quite movie theater size, but they're pretty big, and all the cast and a lot of the crew was there. And so anyway, so he says, I got a copy for you. He sends it to me. And as you can see, it's still sealed. I've never opened it. I'll open it here. And anyway, so I wanted to do a video as a tribute to Mark and Joel, and talking about, Mark was so nice. He didn't charge me for it. He just said, hey, I got a copy for you, because he knows that, because Mark when he did this movie, he was writer, director, producer. Also, there was another guy named Steve Pina who was a director. And I've been off the hive mind so long, it's sad to hear that I found out that certain people died since I've been out of touch with people, and found out that Steve had died around the same time I got really, really, really sick. And it's sad to hear. And other people I found out that had passed away, suicide, things like that, other aspiring actors, just really sad. Anyway, so as you can see, I just pulled the plastic off of this thing, and so I haven't opened it yet, but it's a DVD. Somebody I saw online has a website that's dedicated to this, and they selling it, but I don't know if that's Mark's or not. But Mark, after this was before he was well known, but Mark is here. He played the serial killer, he played a priest, and I think he played 3 characters in the movie, 3 at least, and I'm trying to blank the other character he played, but he did a lot. He really diversified himself a lot in this. But I haven't talked about this in a long time. This was such a low budget movie, but the cover was done by a friend of mine who was a really talented graphic artist. I've lost touch with him, but he did it in like 5 minutes. And I was the only one who was present for this poster to be made. This was a long time ago. This was in the late 90s, if I remember right, when he put the poster together. And he did it in like 5 minutes. He just took all these pictures and slapped them together, took my picture physically when I was there, had me holding up this bottle, and then put everybody together. And so something I never got credit for, but I don't care about IMDb credit. I'm way, way, way past film school and giving up on the film business. So, but it's just fun to be a part of something creative, and I just thought I'd use this as a plug for Mark and Joel, but also I want to say that, and I was thinking about it recently, I forgot about this, is the charm that Mark wears around his neck here. I actually made that out of brass. I forgot all about it. I'm looking at it going, I should talk about this because it's really unique. And so Mark is an occult character. Oh, also, hold on. Before I go back to this, see this part 2 up here? There's 2. It's because Mark and we slaved away in the middle of the night back in VHS days before editing on a computer was common. We used some weird equipment, sound overlay device, and we made a kind of part 1 to this movie. And so he put part 2 up there. They put part 2 up there because they thought maybe they'd release part 1 later on, but they probably never did. It's probably not on the DVD special features. But anyway, so, but that's, they put that there just in case. But we did the part 1 together. We stayed up all night editing it one night. And that was that. That was the beginning of it. But then they went on to film this, which is a real movie, technically. And anyway, so this right here, I actually used a jewelry saw and cut that out of brass. And it hangs sideways because, the stereotypical Satanist hangs across upside down. Well, this is hanging sideways, as in the character is spiritually confused or indecisive. And also, it's kind of blurry, but it's a very unique symbol that I made up. I just made this up and made it, and I had held on to it, never knew what to do with it, but when the movie came up, I gave it to Mark to use for the movie, and he might still have it, I don't know. But anyway, it hangs sideways, and it's a cross, but at the bottom of it is a foot that's pointing downward. At the top of it is a hand with its fingers splayed out, and on the sides, it's hands that are pointing east and west. So it's kind of saying it's a cross that is human. It has a hand on top open and hands pointing left and right. And the hands pointing left and right is like confusion, like which direction to go. And I just thought it's a really unique symbol, and one that I just made up when I was in high school, and I cut it out of brass with a jewelry saw and made it into a piece of jewelry. And there's a hole in the foot and there's a hole in this hand so that it actually hangs sideways around your neck. And so it's not upside down, it's not right side up, it's sideways. So anyway, that's one thing. And I was going to download the movie and cut out a part to show, but it's rather than do that, I'm just going to talk about it, and that is that in the serial killer's lair, there's a bunch of different props, and those were mine. And some of them, it's probably good that they cut them out of the movie because they were pretty hardcore. There was some artwork done by the guy that did the art for Cannibal Corpse, and it was really disgusting, but it was perfect for a serial killer. And I noticed that they edited that part out of the movie, and it's I'm sure that it was that hardcore. It was pretty gross, but it was the cover of a book I had. I used to be very into that guy's artwork, but anyway. Back in the days when I was listening to Cannibal Corpse in the early days. But, and one other thing is that there is a weapon in the movie that Mark, as the serial killer character, he uses the weapon to kill my character, the FBI agent here. And I made that weapon. I didn't get credit for that either, but it was like imagine armor that goes on your arm and has a sword coming out of the armor, and then the hands also have blades on them, sort of like Freddy Krueger claws, but on all 5 fingers instead of 4. No, yeah, instead of 4 fingers, it's on the thumb as well. But anyway, it's like all one piece. It's like an armored sword arm plus blades on the fingers. Anyway, that was the weapon that ends up doing me in. And I wrote one line for the movie, and that was, when I'm dying, I say, I'll see you in hell. And the serial killer says, I'll be there with bells on, because it's the Raging Bells. And that was one line I wrote. And there was some occult books that I had that they used in the movie, and they showed him practicing like rituals. But I think they were just so excited to have the books and to know that that's what they were using, that they didn't really focus. They didn't zoom in on the books enough. You can't even tell what kind of books they are. So, but anyway, so just talking about Mark Nash, he went on after this movie. He did some other independents, but he actually made it to Hollywood, and he has got quite a list on IMDb. And so it's just been a long time since him and I spoke. As a lot of people, when I got back online, he said, hey, I have a copy for you. And he sent me this copy. So as you can see, it's the 20th anniversary but it's edition, but it's past 20 years now. And oh, look, there's some. See, I haven't even looked at this. I didn't even know there was an insert in here. This is the first time I've opened it, so I got to look at this later. But anyway, so I guess these are available from a website online, and Mark had some, and he was nice enough to say, when I got a hold of him, hey, I got a copy for you. Next thing you know, I got it in the mail. So thank you, Mark. And Mark had like I said, the tenacity. He was just a regular guy like me, but I was all wishy-washy about doing films. And he was gung-ho and wanted a career in film, and he did. He made it from a regular guy like me into having quite a list on IMDb. And, well, that's about it. Just wanted to talk about a couple things on there. I've always wanted to share that. I don't care if I ever get on IMDb about set design and costume design and prop design. I just wanted to tell the story. And I hope that Mark and Joel and everybody else that's still working in the industry have prosperous careers.